let's take a look at what's really happening with the ongoing colonial elections. We see that in yet another desperate attempt to sway the people of Ambazonia, the colonial regime in Yaoundé dispatched its trade minister, Luc Magloire Mbaga Atangana, to Buea, the capital of Ambazonia, which the occupiers prefer to call the Southwest Regional Capital. His mission? To distribute a meager 106 million francs CFAs presented as a so-called presidential grant to farmers. Now that might be meager compared to the corruption money that colonial La République has spent, but then looking at the fact that no infrastructure has really been done in Ambazonia, and then they're willing to bring this sum, 106 million francs CFAs, as a presidential grant. The minister, parroting the narrative of his aging paymaster in Etude, claimed his handout was to encourage farmers and sustain the backbone of the economy. He praised Ambazonian farmers for their resilience amidst the war of extermination waged by his government, while hypocritically urging young people to embrace agriculture under the same colonial system that has destroyed their farmlands, displaced families, and rendered many villages uninhabitable. Farmers were given farm tools and what the minister boasted of as a special donation from the colonial president, insisting that Ambazonians should believe in the so-called benevolence of a regime that has starved them for decades. The regime trumpeted figures from last cocoa season, citing more than 416 billion francs CFAs generated from cocoa sales, while refusing to acknowledge that the bulk of this wealth is siphoned away to Yaoundé, leaving Ambazonian farmers in abject poverty. One farmer from Manfé, Ebai Richard Agbo, received a paltry 50,000 francs for a few tools, a sum that can scarcely sustain a household for more than a week in the Cameroons. Even he admitted that the real need of Ambazonian farmers lie in proper farm-to-market roads and infrastructure, which remains deliberately neglected by the same colonial government. Well, this spectacle seems to be nothing short of a bribe wrapped in propaganda, as the colonial presidential elections loom next month, with their frail nonagenarian dictator clinging to power. The regime is attempting to dangle crumbs before Ambazonians, hoping to manipulate them into legitimizing their sham elections in southern Cameroons. But then Ambazonians are not fooled. What Yaoundé offers as gifts are nothing more than stolen Ambazonian resources recycled as political bait. Under a legitimate Ambazonian government, farmers would have no reason to beg for what is rightfully theirs: farm-to-market roads, infrastructure, and full ownership of their resources. This latest move only reinforces why Ambazonia must reject the colonial gimmicks and continue its struggle for self-determination, a true one where the wealth of Ambazonia serves Ambazonians, not an octogenarian and his crumbling regime.